Hi, I'm Greg B. I'm here with the beautiful Veronika London. This is Industry Insider. I'm going to give you some quick tips on how to do a beautiful, clean, simple makeup. When applying the foundation, I like to use a brush so I can get into the pores. You're going to use a cross-hatching motion. You want to use whatever's left on your brush and just lightly go over your eyes. It's going to add a little bit of a base. You don't need to bring the foundation all the way underneath the eyes because you're going to go in afterwards with concealer, which is a little bit of a thicker form of foundation. Because if you were to use a foundation as a concealer throughout the day, it's going to crease and collect. Once you've applied the foundation with your brush, I like to go over it with my finger just to kind of press it into the skin and into the hairline. When applying your foundation, you don't want to cake too much foundation onto the skin. So if you just have some blemishes or problem areas, you can cover it up later on with a thicker concealer that's going to stay there all day long. If you use a foundation to cover up any areas, you're going to be able to see it. On Veronika, I'm using two different concealers. One is a number 25 by MAC and the other one is a 20. She's in between the two of them. So what I've done is I put the two on my hand and I'm going to mix them together. Another product that I'm going to use is by Smashbox. It has a little bit of an iridescent quality to it. This product I'm going to use just underneath her eyes, just to add luminosity. You always want to use a brush when applying your concealer. First starting with the face, and then we're going to go into the eyes afterwards with your brush. I'm going to incorporate the iridescent concealer in with the concealer that I used on her face, and just go underneath her eyes. And again, just bring whatever's left on your brush across the lid, and that adds a base to your shadow. So now at this point, most people are going to use a powder to set the foundation. I want to leave the foundation wet because I'm going to go in with another cream product. I'm going to use a Dior cream blush. Again, testing on my hand how much I have on my finger. And I can work off my hand. A lot of women don't know where to put blush. What you want to do is you just want to put it on your cheekbone, not below the cheekbone, but right on it. And the cheekbone is underneath the orbital eye right here. And you're just going to add it right there. I like using my fingers to apply the brush because I can actually press it into the skin. I'm going to use a little bit of a brown, just to add a little bit more depth to Veronika's cheekbones. And now I'm going to go in and set everything with a powder. What I'd like to do is instead of using a brush to set the powder, is I'm using a puff. I'm using the Makeup Forever Professional HD powder. You're going to press and roll. Now in Veronika, I'm going to do her liner. I'm going to start there and then go to the eyeshadow. I'm going to use a product by Makeup Forever. It's called Eye Seal. Turns any eyeshadow into an eyeliner. A few drops into your eyeshadow. With a brush, make a paste. I'm using a medium brown because we're doing a day look on her. And you're going to do the liner very close to the lash line. That's why you want to use a brush. Never use a pencil because the pencil tends to run. Pencils are meant more for inside the eye or to use as a base when you're doing more of a smoky eye. So the misconception with adding individual lashes is that it's very difficult. It's actually really, really easy, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to add a little bit of duo adhesive to my hand. So what you need to do when you're adding lashes is with your tweezers, you're going to pick up the hair, put it into your glue, and then place it in the root of the lash. Again, tweezers, you're just gonna go in, pick up the hair like this, into your glue, and into the root of the lash. Now I've added a medium length of lash to the end of Veronika's eye, and I'm gonna go in with a shorter lash and do the inner portion of Veronika's eye. Now, since adding individual lashes, what I want to do now is just go over those lashes with a black eyeliner. Again, using the eye seal from Makeup Forever. I'm going to add it to the MAC Cake Liner. Again, just putting 2 drops and going in with my brush and making it into a cake. And I'm just going to do a thin line over the lashes that I've placed into the root of her lash. So I'm doing a daytime look on Veronika, and I'm going to use some light colors. I'm going to go in with the light color as a base. This is going to make blending a lot easier when you use the deeper colors. So now I'm going to go in with a medium tone color with a crease brush. Right here you see the crease, and that's where you're going to add that color. It's okay to add a little bit extra of the medium tone color, because afterwards you're going to take a clean brush and blend it all together. And now what I'm going to do to just add a little bit more depth to Veronika's eyes is add the brown, which is the deepest color that I'm going to use on her. Again, testing the color on my hand because it's easier to add than to take away. Again, in the outer corner of the crease and along the lash line. Now I'm going to go in with a clean blending brush and blend all the colors together and out. What I want to do now is add a little bit more depth to Veronika's eyes. So I'm going to take the same shadows that I used on her eyes and go into the darker color and just put a little bit underneath. So I'm going to be using a flat angled brush. I'm going to go into the shadow and lightly pick up some pigment, tap it off, test on your hand, and place the shadow really close to the lash line. Now I'm going to do Veronika's mascara, and my favorite mascara is the Maybelline Lash Discovery, and the reason that I like this mascara is because of the brush. The brush is very thin and get to the root of the lash. So I'm going to take off excess product and start at the base of the lash. Okay, so I finished with Veronika's eye makeup, and what I'm going to do now is just add a little bit more color to her cheeks, and I'm going to use a powder blush. This is by Chanel, it's called Fantango. I'm going to use a flat blush brush. I'm going to dip the brush into the color, again using my hand to take off excess, and just run the blush brush across the cheekbones like this. Take off any excess product on your hand and just give it a once over. Now moving on to Veronika's lips, I'm going to use a NARS matte pencil, fill in the entire mouth with the pencil, and then blend it out with a brush. You can stop there with the matte pencil, or what I like to do on Veronika is just add a little bit of a gloss. I'm using the NARS Turkish Delight gloss, and just add it to the center of the mouth. I'm Greg B, and thank you so much for joining me and Veronika London on how to do really quick and easy daytime eye makeup. This is Industry Insider, and join me next time for more tips.